Imagine walking into a gym and seeing a man just 5 feet 4 inches tall, but weighing a staggering 285 pounds in the off-season. The sheer density of muscle, the confidence, the unapologetic presence. This was Lee Priest in his prime. Known for his freaky proportions and old-school mentality, Lee didn't just build muscle. He built a legacy of doing it his own way, far from the trends and nutritional micromanagement that dominate bodybuilding today. During his bulking phases, Lee didn't follow a structured plan based on calories or macros. He never tracked his intake meticulously or set daily targets for protein, carbs, or fat. Instead, he operated on instinct. After years of competing and dieting, he had developed a sharp sense for how his body responded to food. If he felt flat or underfed, he simply increased his intake. If he noticed himself getting too heavy or sluggish, he made slight adjustments, but never with a calculator or a food scale. His body was his gauge, and the mirror was his measurement.
Again, you're overthinking it. How the would I know what my surplus is? I just ate. I didn't aim for any calories, like, oh, I got to shoot for 10,000, 8,000. You look in the mirror. I'm a fat Obviously, I'm having too many calories. How many? I don't know.
Off-season for Lee meant eating freely and training brutally hard. He combined traditional bodybuilding staples like steak, rice, eggs, and chicken with more indulgent options. Ice cream, chips, bakery treats, and fast food were all fair game. The goal was simple: fuel the body and grow. He never believed in the idea of a clean bulk. To him, trying to stay lean while gaining mass was counterintuitive. A proper bulk meant eating big, training hard, and worrying about the aesthetics later when it was time to cut. Lee's approach wasn't about force-feeding or eating to discomfort either. He didn't set timers to eat every few hours or wake up during the night to choke down meals. If he was hungry, he ate. If he wasn't, he waited until he was. Sometimes he would graze throughout the day, and other times he'd have larger meals spaced further apart. The rhythm of his nutrition was determined entirely by how he felt, not by rigid meal schedules.
Yeah, I'm not full. I might eat a bit more that day, but off season. It's like when people go, Lee, what did you eat when you bulked up? And everything. How many calories we eat, or how do you do a clean bulk? I don't know, eat McDonald's in the shower. I don't know. A clean bulk. Those two words don't go together. If you're going to eat clean, you're going to get lean. Clean and lean. Bulk and fat. See how it rhymes?
At his heaviest, Lee reached a jaw-dropping 285 pounds, a weight that, for someone of his height, pushed the boundaries of size and density. Rather than worrying about putting on too much fat, he embraced the off-season look and understood that any excess weight could be stripped off later with disciplined dieting. When show prep approached, he didn't panic. He simply set a start date, often just a couple of months out from the competition, and began dialing in his nutrition and cardio with the same instinctive approach he used in the off-season. His success wasn't just about eating, it was also about consistency. Lee kept his training and meals relatively similar day to day, which gave him the ability to notice even small changes in how his body looked and felt. This consistency made it easier to adjust on the fly. If something wasn't working, he'd tweak it, adding carbs here, dropping fats there, based on how his physique responded. Beyond the food and training, Lee often commented on the modern bodybuilding scene, where younger athletes sometimes compete only once a year and rely heavily on coaches or gurus to make decisions for them. He believed that frequent competition helped bodybuilders truly understand their own physiology. By getting on stage often, they'd gain experience with how their body reacts under pressure, how to manipulate diet and water, and how to improve show to show. It was this repetition, he believed, that helped him master the art of peaking at the right time.
There was a slight mention or something about the Hulk and 2003, obviously the movie that Eric Bana, but was there something involving you?
Yeah, I did like a lot of little movements for it, so I went up to Universal and did like a tryout for it, and there's other bodybuilders there. When I was leaving, they said the stunt coordinator wants to see you, so they called me back, and because I was in contest shape, you could see all the muscles moving, the veins. Ang Lee, the director, he had one of those motion capture suits on where you move, it just looks like a stick figure.
Yeah.
but it looked too animated, so they flew me up to George Lucas's studio, and I was in like a big warehouse like this, and there's probably like 16 cameras around me.
Yeah.
And all the movements, the running, the jumping, when he's lifting stuff up.
That's you?
Yeah, they filmed me doing that, then they downloaded that to the computer and built the Hulk from that frame. And then when the second movie came out, I did the same thing for the video game. So.
He also made a distinction between competitive bodybuilders and those with impressive gym physiques. Some athletes would build huge aesthetic bodies but avoid competing, preferring to maintain an aura of mystery about how they'd do on stage. Lee respected the grind of competing, arguing that stepping on stage was the ultimate test, far more telling than how someone looked in the gym or on social media. In the end, Lee Priest's bulking strategy was built on simplicity and self-awareness. He didn't believe in overcomplicating the process. He trained intensely, ate freely, and adjusted based on results. It was a blend of brutal effort and complete honesty with himself, knowing when he was flat, when he was full, and when it was time to shift gears. There were no secrets, just consistency, instinct, and a deep understanding of his own body.
So, how can you help Zach out? Bulk cut or cut bulk or...
Well, if he doesn't have lots of money, how's he going to bulk if he can only eat tuna? If he's going to bulk, he'd have to increase his calories, and eating tuna and rice, you're not going to get. He'd have to eat a truckload.
Well, for starters, I was going to say get rid of the brown rice, because apparently that's bad for
I
you.
prefer basmati or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Maybe eat fried rice. I don't know, I'd be like eating eggs. I would try to get eggs, or I don't know.
But what about even...
Eat rice and condensed milk. Make it a dessert.
His journey serves as a reminder that not all progress comes from science or formulas. Sometimes the most effective strategy is simply to listen to your body, trust your gut, and put in the work without second-guessing every bite. In a world of overthinking and over-tracking, Lee Priest stood as a champion of doing what works and doing it with confidence. For anyone chasing serious size and old-school intensity, there's a lot to learn from Lee's no BS approach. And if you're ready for more raw insight from bodybuilding's most honest legends, hit that subscribe button and stick around for the next one.